we have a lot of members of the community here.
And the annual contributions and reserves.
We have a lot of members of the community here. I'm not suggesting that this ends it because there will be discussion, but I want to bring everybody up to speed. The board did receive, as indicated by the budget committee, a draft budget as a result of the public hearings, etc., that the committee conducted. And the way that that budget was structured, it was based on the direction that the board had provided the committee with regard to our path ahead on outsourcing for landscaping. It also reflected the adjustments to the community management contract that we just voted on and approved. It additionally, at the time it was submitted by the committee, did not reflect any outsourcing of the security structure. The board met in a working session last week in an effort to try to expedite our activities here tonight, and we came to what I would consider to be a majority position, that we would make some adjustments to that budget with a goal of providing for security services, but not doing it in a manner as the gentleman here spoke, so that the assessment increase was on the order of $84. We felt that was, my words here, a bridge too far for the community to swallow. The budget that the board has in front of us here, I'm not going to go through it line by line, but we were able to do some planning for a security force that will be, as it's reflected in here from a budget line, would allow us the capability to buy a subcontracted security force during the period when the beaches are open. We would have 24/7 coverage. There would be a 15-week period when the kids are out of school and the beaches are open. We would have a full-time security presence. And I'm not going to go into that tomorrow night. I will go into this in detail. In that period, so that's 15 weeks of a 52-week year. On those other 37 weeks of the year, on either side of the beaches, we will have a security presence during the period of time, and again, I will highlight this in my details tomorrow briefing. We would have 2 people on watch here, a professional outsourced security service that would be here from sometime in the an 8-hour shift, sometime in the evening at a time to be decided. I'm not going to get so specific as to say when that would be, until sometime in the early morning hours. Let's just say for characterization of it, from 6 at night until 2 in the morning. And so I may want to have it 5 until 1, but there would be a presence here. When people are home, the kids are still up, people are around, they may have a need for it. There would not, under the current budget structure, have enough money to provide 24/7 during those other 37 weeks, but those are in the non-period of the year. That, as it's reflected in here, has a total cost of $161,000 and some odd, 161, 30, 840. Thank you. My eyes are getting bad. That on its own would have been an assessment increase on the order of like $43. And to lower that, so that we are now proposing in this budget an increase on the order of $26, we did some takes from other areas. The events were mentioned. There's a total reduction in events, offset by income, offset by cost of $10,000. There's some additional revenue to be brought in by the person that you just met here tonight, a new events coordinator. She's got some ideas on how she can bring in some additional revenue, and we've taken some cost out of the expenses for events. That was about $10,000 from that area. There was another $5,000 taken out of a line on the lake maintenance, I think is the actual title. Lake maintenance. Good 5. And then there was a $50,000 one-time credit, and I will be very clear on this tomorrow, from the reserve contribution. $270,000 is the reserve contribution from last year. We decided to take a $50,000 credit because, very simply said, we have been buying, our patrol vehicles, our 2 trucks, the reserve study had built up a nest egg at $54,000. Those trucks were due to be replaced this year because we had decided to drop the service. We will no longer have those trucks. And therefore, and just to play the math game, if we have 2 trucks, they each cost $25,000 and they have an expected life of 5 years. That means that every year you should be contributing $10,000 so that at the end of 5 years I've established $50,000 to buy 2 new trucks. Recognizing that those trucks had reached the end of their life, we hadn't decided to expend those monies. We took a one-time take from reserve funds of $50,000. So that was able to, those combined $65,000 of existing budget monies were used as an offset to the $161,000. So you ended up with an assessment increase to make up the difference of $26. That's the material that we have in front of us here right now. I'm not suggesting that closes the book, but I just wanted to get everybody up to speed as to what we have in front of us.